The particular case of Mayosina in Mambila Plateau, Taraba State, is mind-boggling, where an indigenous mining operators invested hundreds of millions of naira to obtain legality and procure machineries and equipment, only to still fall a victim of illegality when illegal miners and hoodlums invaded the site, kill and maim operator staff and security personnel, and razed to ashes the machineries and equipment worth hundreds of millions of naira. We appeal to government in this particular case to give all necessary support for this investor to ameliorate the operator's losses and recoup her or his investment. Of circumstances, it is the ministry that is statutorily empowered to come to the rescue of such an unfortunate license holder. Now that the ministry is living up to our responsibility as demonstrated in Zurak, Mayosina, and few other sites in the country, we wish to reiterate our support for the government resolve to flush out the illegal mining operators in the country, and appeal to the ministry to include miners in the surveillance committee to be formed in every state to checkmate illegal mining in Nigeria. Man will be useful to the committee in terms of strategic information sharing. Launching of the ministry's web portal. The information portal launched by the ministry recently is a revolutionary in the area of information dissemination. It is an opportunity for the general public to access the portal and get all kinds of information required. Applying for mining license can be made through the portal. This will decongest the ministry and the cadastral office. While the portal offers solutions to some of the challenges confronting miners in Nigeria, we feel that the section of the portal that deals with management of licenses ought to be under the control of Mining Cadastral Office, as the only mining license issuing authority as stipulated in the Mineral Mining Act 2007. We hereby call on the ministry to review the rule-based assess and control issues on portal. Dangote and Boa dispute over the ownership of mining license site in Edo State between the above two giants firms is of concern to us in the association. The matter has been in court for some time now. The ideal position will have been to wait the verdict of the court. However, the current press war between the two is taking an unpleasant dimension, which will not go well for the growth of mining industry in Nigeria. We therefore strongly appeal to all critical stakeholders, including Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Nigeria Economic Summit Group, etc., to help broker a peace agreement between these industrial giants in the national interest and industrial harmony in the country. Let me also extend this appeal to other critical personalities in the country, such as the Sultan of Sokoto, Emir of Kano, and other strategic group like Arewa Consultative Council, to also be interested in alleviating the dispute between these two giants. If such disputes are not resolved amicably, it is likely that such dispute may come from another quarters, which may not be in the collective interest of the country. Gold purchase scheme and single window initiative. The gold purchase scheme is supposed to control gold export from Nigeria and strengthen the capacity of artisanal miners by equipping and providing them with extension services. The off-takers of all the gold produced by participants in the scheme will be managed by a special purpose vehicle recognized by the ministry. Although the scheme appears to be laudable, we feel that it was structured in secrecy, as stakeholders were not carried along during its formation. The scheme, therefore, might not last long if critical stakeholders, such as Miners Association of Nigeria, were sidelined, given the closeness of man to the ASM protest. Waiver on import duty of mining equipment and machineries. This waiver is meant to encourage mechanized mining in the country, and it is in line with the provision of Mineral and Mining Act 2007. Miners Association applauded the policy when it was announced in 2013. However, it appears not to have made meaningful impact because of the bureaucracy involved. The process for securing such waiver is cumbersome. We therefore suggest that the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development form a standing committee to appraise application and make recommendation to the Honorable Minister for his necessary action. This way, the process will have been made easier. Delay in the constitution of COMEC Council. The COMEC oversees and regulates activities of all professionals in the Nigerian mining sector. These professionals are required to be certified before being allowed to practice. Foreign professionals are also included. Without the council, the function of COMEC is practically being weakened, and that will grossly affect the quality of high and middle-level manpower in the mining industry. We hereby appeal to the government to urgently constitute COMEC Council to be able to perform its statutory function effectively. The recent government position on mineral exclusivity status in the Nigerian Constitution. At present, Nigeria operates a single mining jurisdiction governed by the National Constitution, which makes mining governance an exclusive reserve of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The recent suggestion from the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development on the removal of mining from exclusive list to the concurrent list in order to allow state to play a more prominent role in mining issues in the country is strongly opposed by man. If that state concern can be addressed by the instrumentality of the recently inaugurated Mining Council and Meremco provision in the Mineral and Mining Act, in order to avert any constitutional crisis that may likely arise as a result of any suggestion or proposal to remove the mining from exclusivity list. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press, let me first, on behalf of the Executive of Miners Association of Nigeria, express our appreciation for attending this conference at a short notice. We also want to thank you for your continued interest in the development of the mining sector in Nigeria. This government came under a political platform based largely on reinvigorating agri and mining sector to diversify the economy. We applaud the various initiatives of the ministry towards reforming the sector, but we believe that if observation and suggestions made in this presentation are duly considered, it will help to accelerate the process for quicker results so that the mining sector will regain its previous role of creating massive job opportunities for the people and contributed favorably to the national GDP. Thank you once again for your attention. Thank you. Of the Mineral Resources and Environmental Management Committees in some states, the gold purchase scheme, and the recent government position on the mineral exclusivity status in the Nigerian Constitution. Out of many happenings in the mining industry, along with the associated issue, will be focused today. First is the National Council on Mining and Mineral Resources Development. The formation of the above council with representation from the state government and stakeholders in the mining industry is a step in the right direction, especially to carry along the state government on the happenings in the sector through periodic briefing by the ministry. The council is also an advisory body to the ministry on issues that borders on their respective states. The initiative is capable of reducing tension and mutual displeasure over the control of mineral resources by the federal government. However, unlike in other ministries such as education, health, transport, sports, etc., where stakeholders in such council are clearly defined, the stakeholders for the Council on the Mineral and Mining Resources Development are not clearly defined. Apart from the commissioners in charge of mining-related ministries in the state, other stakeholders should have been clearly stated. ASM Loan Intervention Fund. Miners Association is pleased that the ASM has been captured in all the financial interventions structured by the federal government to alleviate or reduce poverty in Nigeria. This is imperative in view of the fact that mining operation in Nigeria is dominated by artisanal and small-scale mining. However, interventions such as Real Sector Support Fund, SME Fund, export stimulation facilities, etc., makes little impact in the mining sector because such interventions are not accessible to ASM. The 5 billion loan facilities given by the ministry to Bank of Industry to manage as a welcome development. We believe it will serve as a catalyst to solving the funding challenges of ASM. However, about 5 months after the presentation of the dummy check and advert made, no single miner has been able to access the loan, as conditionalities are largely commercial conditionalities, which contradict the social concern attached to the objective of the loan. The government should therefore be interested in the level of disbursement over a given period to ensure that the philosophy behind such intervention is not derailed. Clamping down on the illegal mining activities. We wish to commend the government for clamping down on illegal mining activities in different parts of the country, especially in Zurak, Plateau State, and Mayosina in Taraba State. We repeatedly stated that government is under obligation to protect license owners from any form of illegal mining, trespassing, disturbance from anybody. It is becoming worrisome for common practice where the operation of legal operators are being disrupted, either by a governor, local government chairman, community leader, or even youth group of such locality. It will also common for thousands of illegal miners to invade a licensed site and render the owner powerless. Lease. The argument between some state government, NEWA, and other agencies of government has been a prolonged one. That is why when the minister, there was a work stop order by the Lagos State Governor issued to all the sand dredgers in Lagos. And when the minister countered that order by telling them that, look, go ahead and do your work because you are under the federal government, not under state government, we issue a press statement in support of the ministry and advising the Lagos State government to be lawful in their deals. That has been our stand. Now, in the case of the sand raisers in River State, there was a time we wrote to NIWA, drawing their attention to their constitutional function, which was outside the control of sand raisings in rivers. And we started a court case between NIWA and an operator from Kaduna State government, Kaduna State in 2016 or so. 2006. The operator defeated NIWA, that there was a judgment. So we cited that judgment and called on NIWA to be lawful in their deed. So this thing has been on and on. And I can also remember the case of Ogun State versus Ogun State Miners Association and Ogun State government, where we encouraged Ogun State Miners Association to go to court, and they went to court and they defeated Ogun State government. So all these things are there, but what is very critical is for the states, is for the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, whose duty is to issue license and protect the owners of this license, to spearhead this struggle, if you like, so that whoever touch a miner or sand raiser, the miner is not under any obligation to fight anybody, but to come to the ministry and say, hey, you give me license, but somebody is disturbing me. It is their work to make sure that investors in mining sectors are properly protected. So that is our position. Buying center will only show it on the pages on the newspaper. Ideally, we are not supposed to come to the press. We have written to them. But since we are now assessing what has happened in the year 2017, the happenings, the observation, the suggestion, it will make sense to put whatever that is there so that our presentation is going to be inclusive. We have already written to them, so it's not going to be a surprise to them. We have already written to them. But we should also let the world know that, look, we are seeing something. And I'm very sure they will correct it, but the miners and the general public has the right to know what is happening in the industry, no matter how minute. Thank you.
But the strata and the geological formation within the West African sub-region is very similar. Even though our formation is much younger, the rocks formation is much younger in Nigeria, but it was proven that you find that most of these formations were even at the surface, and they were primary formations. That is, you could take a load, take some samples, and you find that in the quartz veins that are weathered or not weathered, gold was directly embedded inside, not only the alluvial that had been washed off from somewhere. Now, having said that, a lot of figures have been brandished left, right, and center about gold in Nigeria. And I start to wonder, because I've been in this industry for the past 35 years, I start to wonder where they get this kind of figures that they are brandishing about, that billions of dollars have been lost to illegal mining and what have you. Well, in the actual fact, the truth about the matter is that how much funds have been voted into the industry. It's just recently that you are talking about 30 billion, 20 billion to operate a proper gold mining site in other countries that we have visited will take 3 times what the overall amount that has been voted for the whole industry to develop one gold site in other parts of the world. So what are we talking about? Yes, the government, with the funds that it has, I will say it has tried, but it needs to do better. It is in that line that we are here. And the president has said it so well that we will continue to be like Oluba too. Yes, we have been doing, yes, we will ask for more because the work that needs to be done is so much. For instance, this is very important. Mr. President, you informed me the time they said they have bought trucks for Saturday. How many trucks did they buy? About 30. How many states do we have? 36. And there are some minor sites. Let me mention, like if you talk about this rock they visited, Plateau. When you start from the north of Plateau to the south, they need at least 5 working vehicles to be able to monitor that terrain effectively. There are sites that we were sitting in an expo and they say so much material was taken out of one of the members of the expo site. But he said he couldn't do anything. Let them go because they became afraid. If you say you want to stop the illegal mining in your site, they will threaten your life. If you talk to the government will prepare a team and say they are coming to the site, they will never stop it. Because they don't have the wherewithal. The funds are not even there enough for the mines offices in the state to operate properly. And in certain activities, sometimes they will have to depend on the miner to mobilize them to even put fuels in their vehicles. So how would that done? So that's why we are talking to the people that we appeal. The government is trying, but we are appealing that more funds be voted so that we can really move this industry forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is in the speech that mining has one jurisdiction, whether federal, whether state. It is presently under the exclusive legislative list. And the Mining Road Implementation Committee, the MIST, they are operating generally across the nation. It's not just a matter of whatever happens. And if there's any challenges at all in the states, you can be sure that it's not limited to your state alone. The challenges must be all over. And you will know these challenges, they are many, they are legion, that miners are facing in the hands of various state governments. And as we mentioned, but that is why the reason why the association is agitating that mining should not in any way be removed from the exclusive list. We have been seeing a lot of cases of abuse by state governments, even by local government chairmen, by so many interest groups. It is not in any way different all over, whether in your state, whether in Kano, whether in Sanfara or Rivers. The situations are generally all over the same. So what you are just trying to advocate is that mining should be kept as sacred as it is where it is presently. That's in the exclusive. So that the federal government control, there are a lot of machineries that have been set up whereby states can get involved. We have the recently inaugurated, like the president just read, inaugurated mining council. We had the Miremco, which is a portion of the law. We want the state government to key into all these strategies, to all these structures, so that they can be able to have a say, able to monitor and control, and even benefit from the operations of mining in their domain. So that is just what I can. The MIST, they are implementing. I mean, they are operating nationally. It's not a matter of operating here in Abuja and with the exclusion of the states. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, sir.
Yes.
I'll have just 2 people come up here, please, and get these copies. There are enough copies for everybody else, but I want only the press people to have copies now, because they're going to